I know, right? I'm just the simple man that simply predicts. That being said, who's ready to once again rock at the biggest event of the summer? Horsemen, put it up. We are back once again for our annual edition. This is our hype for this year's SummerSlam. Hello, everybody. Surprise! Welcome once again back to our Horseman Hype panel. We are back here once again, the Horsemen of predictions. I am not Ole Anderson or Ric Flair. I am not even Arn Anderson. I am nothing more but the simple man. My name is Will Foster, with my best friends in predictions across all things wrestling, the All Elite Wrestling Hitman, the leader, founder, creator of NWL, and the biggest supporter of No DQ, who predicts and everything too. Mark Rivet, Jeff Chadwick, and Christopher Rotz, respectfully. Gentlemen, it is incredibly great to see you once again. We started this back a few years, skipped a year. We did this thing last year, and we are back here once again, and it feels so damn good. Let's go around and see how everyone's feeling about this weekend real quick before we get right into it. Mark, again, it's extremely rare I get to do videos with you, so this is an absolute joy to see your face. How you feeling about this weekend, man? How you been?
I'm excited, and I'm glad you had them pictures to remind us all. I'm actually going to go back if I can watch this and screenshot it because I want a picture of all 3 years. So, but yeah, as far as the event, I'm excited, and I'm glad that it's only 7 matches. There's no filler. Everything has a story, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, right. I mean, again, quantity and quality seems like it's actually balanced in this new era of WWE. What a crazy concept. That being said, Chris, it's good to see you once again, as always. How you feeling about this weekend, my friend? And for those that are wondering, I'm going to SummerSlam, and so is he.
I'm feeling good about SummerSlam. My excitement is 10 out of 10. My overall is going to be an 8 out of 10. The card is looking stacked. 7 matches, meaning 7 heaven. So 7 is a good number for a match. It's going to be great being in Cleveland Brown Stadium on Saturday.
That's great.
Good luck to everybody that is competing in the prediction league for WWE. And always say yeah to NoDQ.com.
Yeah. And we'll say, something else here shortly, too, if you catch my drift. Shout out to Aaron Riff. Please say, to No DQ. Go check out their predictions panel. And as Chris alluded to, again, this is part of the WWE PLE Predictions League that I host amongst the NXT PLE Predictions League, the AEW Predictions League, the Ring of Honor Predictions League, and the TNA Predictions League. Cool. And we fortunately are the Horse of Predictions because these 3 gents join me in every one of those shows, madness, and well, the leagues. And, of course, we have our own private scoring as we did last year, and I won. And I'm curious to see if anybody can overcome me this year, but also who leads all the leagues. And there will be leaderboard updates when I come back Sunday across all 5. I might even do a live single take. We'll see. That being said, Jeff, good to see you once again, my friend. I know we're not having a meltdown right now, but we might be closed with this stupid hate. But how you feeling this weekend about SummerSlam?
You may be closing the heat, but it's going to stay near 90 here for the next 6 days.
Oh,
yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm looking forward to SummerSlam, my birthday weekend. So what better way than to have SummerSlam to celebrate my birthday? I mean, come on, you can't get any better than that.
Right.
But here's the thing. I don't know if you guys realize this. There is not one tag match on this card. How odd is that there's not one tag match? I mean, yeah, if you want to count Friday night with the tag team titles on the line, you could, I suppose, but it's not on the card. So it's just weird.
We live in a different era, man. And this is the first WPLE back here in the U.S., directly the U.S., since the genesis of the Patricia Beck era. That was WrestleMania. Everything else was international. So, again, it's going to be big-time storytelling and developments as we head into WWE's fall season, with the only show known right now is Bad Blood, which, again, totally threw me off guard, as Survivor Series still unknown, unannounced, and unlocalized. That being said, again, it's great to see you guys. I'm looking forward to this. Again, I went to SummerSlam last year in Michigan, so I was, between 2 worlds. But my aunt, she encouraged me to do it. So I was like, why the heck not? From Michigan to Ohio, Cleveland's closer than Detroit. I might literally see a couple of guys I know there and a couple of friends. Darn. that are coming to the show as well. So we'll see soon enough. And if nothing else, we engage in wrestling for the experience. We do not dictate or designate by company, name value, or even the promoter. We love this art form known as professional wrestling. Damn it! And I think without further ado, man, it felt damn good to say that in front of all you. Oh, God, I miss you guys. Horsemen, let's get right into it. So, yeah, we got a rocking stat card of 7 matches here. All number for championships, despite one not being for one. Something more richer on the line than gold, though, and that is pride, considering it's the first singles match in the return back to WWE for one CM Punk. So let's go ahead and get everybody's thoughts right around the card, and let's get right into this. I think we'll start off, with our first match here, where I think a homecomer is going to have a bad homecoming, if you know what I mean, or at least I hope so, because I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this title being brought to us by Prime, although Prime's sometimes delicious, but the Maverick is a narcissist. Let's go ahead and talk about the United States Championship being on the line as the Maverick, Logan Paul, Cleveland, Ohio's own, returns home to defend the gold against, say it with me, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Well done, gentlemen. Of course, this has been brewing ever since their fallout, honestly, over the last few weeks, especially when LA Knight beat Logan Paul in the richest arena possible, Madison Square Garden, the Mecca Sports Entertainment. Hasn't let it down since. And Logan Paul refusing LA Knight for quite a period of time. He finally gave in after he got verbally chastised. And so it was signed. But will you have one lucky shot or one stupid goon in a prime suit that will help him win this time? Will LA Knight give this guy a BFT and the United States Championship a facelift to a positivity? Let's go ahead and get everyone's thoughts on this. We're just going to go right around the horn, and I'm going to start this time with this gentleman down here. So, Mark, what do you think about the United States Championship match? Then we'll go to Chris, then Jeff.
I'm just going to lay my winner out early, and I definitely have LA Knight winning. Yeah. I mean, it's LA Knight's. It's LA Knight's spot. It really is. And honestly, Logan Paul has done everything for the U.S. title he possibly can do. I mean, I think he's been a great champion. And I mean, I know he's not there every week and this and that, but what he's done for that title, like everybody knows who the U.S. champion is. There's been times where even a weekly viewer, I got to remember who's the U.S. champion, but this whole run I've known is Logan Paul. And pretty much since he's won this title, people have been predicting that LA Knight was going to be the one to take it off of him. Now we're here. So I think this is the perfect spot. And I'm definitely going LA Knight here.
Yeah, and to your point, Logan Paul's first championship that he won last year against Rey Mysterio, he has presented on these PLEs, including defended against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens successfully at WrestleMania. And then, of course, he challenged Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship on the show that followed. But when it comes to the United States Championship, it does, Chris, of course, have that mainstream appeal because it's been on his Impulsive podcast. He's also been involved in his boxing matches and going to UFC shows with it. But that being said, LA Knight, he's the megastar. He's the people's choice. We're all living off that Kavarko. We're all on the gravy train, and it ain't hitting the brakes anytime soon. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Anyway, Chris, go ahead and give your thoughts to the United States Championship match. Who you got?
Well, I feel this is going to be a banger of a match between LA Knight and Logan Paul. They're going to go back and forth, and we know what happens in Logan Paul's matches. His compadres are going to be there, and we know he's going to be using brass knuckles. He's going to be cheating to victory, but I don't think he is going to win. I got LA Knight becoming the new United States champion. It's LA Knight's time. For Logan Paul, we got to thank Logan Paul for everything that he has done with that United States champion. He's marketing all the places. He's been promoting the United States Championship on his podcast, going to UFC, taking pictures with politicians, and everybody else. So Logan Paul, he's doing a great job as United States champion. I feel we're not going to see Logan Paul for a while as He's going to be going off to be a dad soon.
Oh.
So this is Logan Paul's swan song, and so Logan's going to be a dad. LA Knight, this is his time to be the United States champion, and we could get a full-time United States champion. And Logan Paul, this is his third United States championship title defense in his WWE career.
That's crazy.
That's saying something. Again, that 90-day rule does not apply in this era of WWE. But again, he's defended it on the grandest stages, to say the least. And Jeff, you and I both know, and I'm sure these guys know, when it comes to people going in WWE home, they usually lose. So that being said, Jeff, is it unanimous here? Because I agree that LA Knight is going to be the face of the USA, don't you?
Well, you see, first of all, now the one good thing about Logan Paul is he's brought in an audience that probably isn't familiar with WWE. We're talking about those who are subscribed to his podcast.
Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. Those that haven't watched wrestling, now they're watching him in the ring when he decides to show up and actually do his job. I think he's been a horrible champion, to be honest with you. I mean, this is the third title defense. He's had the title for 140, 150 days?
Give or take, since last year's Crown Jewel, that tells you anything. And that was in November, I believe.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not fond of the part-time. That's why I didn't like Roman Reigns' final hurrah the last year that he was a champion. We barely even saw him. I hate part-timers. I can't stand it. If you want to have part-timers wrestle and get a championship, create a part-time championship belt or something. I don't care. But bottom line is, yes, they're in Cleveland. Yes, they're at home where Logan Paul resides. But in the end, with everybody saying L.A. Knight, that's
yeah.
And that's not an insult. That very much just might be a fact of life come this Saturday. Again, Logan Paul, we saw him come into his first SummerSlam, beat The Miz. A following SummerSlam, he beat Ricochet. Last year, actually. Saw that live. This year, I think, third time, though, is not going to be the charm for him. I think his trend stops. And I think LA Knight definitely deserves his first piece of gold as the United States champion. So I think that match might be fair to say that most people right now are on that gravy train for the megastar. How can you not be? He's been red hot for the last year and a half. Just saying. All right. Well, good stuff. Let's go ahead and keep moving on down the line. We started with Mark on this one, so going in the direction I am counterclockwise. Chris, you're leading this while we go to another championship. I will say this. I do believe in Joe Hendry, but I also do believe that people deserve a second chance. And so far, according to incident and accident reports, I've seen none. But even though she is our queen of the ring, are we ready to call her champion once again in WWE? Bayley defends the WWE Women's Championship against the queen of the ring, Nia Jax. And let's keep in mind, tippy time may very well come Saturday if she cashes in whatever left of her Money in the Bank briefcase. That being said, I'm going to stop right there and give Chris now to let his thoughts run a little bit here towards what he thinks is going to happen. Chris, does Bayley, Nia Jax, or Tiffany Stratton leave SummerSlam as the WWE Women's Champion?
Before I get my thoughts on this match, we're talking about SummerSlam. Did you guys forgot The Miz is hosting SummerSlam this year?
No. Yep. Cleveland's own that resides in Hollywood. How fitting.
But as far as this match goes, I've been seeing like reports going now that this person's expected to win. I don't know if it's true or not. But this match, I hope the IWC don't harass me or anything. But I have Nia Jax becoming the new women's champion on Saturday. And here's why I think Nia's going to win. Yeah, Bayley won the women's championship at WrestleMania to Io Sky. We all thought, can we get like a rematch with Io and Bayley? They didn't fall up on that.
No.
And we went into France at Backlash with a triple threat with Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton. And Bayley retained there. And then Clash of the Castle, we saw Bayley against Piper Niven. And then after that,
anyway, continue.
Then after that, we're now into Bayley and Nia Jax. And what Nia said, we saw the coronation at King of the Ring. She was crowned. She wants to be champion. I think she is going to be champion on Saturday. And I know if there is a bonus point for if Tiffany's going to cash in or not.
Damn it, Aaron Rip, you madman. Continue.
I don't think there's going to be a cash in Saturday because what I believe is going to happen is Tiffany is going to get rewarded a brand new Miss Money in the Bank contract, and we're going to see the pink bedazzled like Barbies dream house. So they're going to reward Tiffany Stratton with that Miss Money in the Bank, that pink one, and that's going to be marketing, and everybody is going to want to buy it on WWEshop.com. So that is why they're not going to want Tiffany Stratton to cash in on Saturday. So I do see Tiffany Stratton cashing in, possibly maybe Bad Blood or even Survivor Series to cash in to be women's champion. But I think Nia Jax win. And what's going to be next for Nia is I'm hearing that this person is ready and she's ahead of schedule. I have a gut feeling we might be seeing another queen in WWE. We might be seeing the return of Charlotte Flair on Saturday.
Here comes number 17.
And we could get Charlotte and Nia Jax feud going on. So I see Nia Jax being the new women's champion on Saturday and no cash in.
All right. Fair enough. What the fuck? Jeff, on you now. I will say this. We are running back a classic, guys. Remember, our NXT, the Black and Gold, when they took over the UK in London, it was Bayley that beat Nia Jax that night when Nia Jax was the unstoppable force. And since Nia Jax has returned, she started off day one beating the man. We haven't seen her beat Charlotte Flair yet because, again, she's been out injured. But, I mean, at this point, is Nia Jax becoming the horsewoman of NXT killer? If she beats Bayley, that's 2 down and 2 to go. Well, 1, because the other one, of course, is an AEW. Shout out to Mercedes Monet. Congrats to Camille. Welcome to AEW. But that being said, Jeff, Tiffany Stratton, I mean, again, last year at SummerSlam, we did see the cash in by Io Shirai, and she cashed in on Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. After their match, Bianca won but got injured and became champion, got her first championship. I feel like Triple H, though, again, is a guy that likes to slow burn stuff, and I don't think he likes to repeat history in a short period, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But, Jeff, go ahead and give your thoughts towards this. Who you got leading with the championship?
Well, this one here, I'm actually torn, because both you could make good arguments for Bayley winning it. You could make good arguments for Nia Jax winning it. However, I think that with her past, to me, she's corrected some things since she's been back, but there's still a lot of green when it comes to Nia Jax. She is very dangerous in there, and we have seen her careless on many occasions. Do you really want someone like Nia Jax holding the title? Knowing, that she's changed in some categories, but others she hasn't. But on the other hand, it's like SummerSlam, that one of the big 4 pay-per-views, this is a good chance for a changing of the guard. So, I'd rather see changing the guard on the bigger pay-per-views than the smaller ones. So it's like, you could go either way on it. My gut is saying Bayley's going to retain. I think that, though I think that probably what you're going to see is you're going to see some interference. Obviously, you're going to see Tiffany Stratton involved in this match.
Right.
You might see Naomi involved in this match. You could very well see. I mean, if she's cleared to come back, you could see Charlotte coming back, but it wouldn't be. They wouldn't be going. On the side of Nia Jax. They'd be on the side of Bayley. So. With that being said, you got like 2 or 3 versus 1. I mean, who else is Nia Jax going to have in her corner but Tiffany Stratton? Who dares to be? I got to go Bayley. So I think she's had an excellent run as champion. She's defended that title the way it should be defended, unlike Logan Paul. But I would like to see this run with Bayley go a little bit longer. I think just a couple, 2-3 months is not going to be enough. I want to see this version of Bayley, the role model, the face role model, not the heel, the face good role model. I want to see where this goes. Give it a couple more months, and then have her in a title match, have her win barely, have Tiffany Stratton cash in. I'm fine with that. But on the other hand, I would like to see Tiffany cash in on Nia. Because, of their newfound friendship that they have.
Quote on.
Anything is possible, business is business. So anything could happen. But I'm going to go with Bayley on this one.
All right. So we got a Bayley and a Nia. Well, this is interesting, Mark. And again, Mark, do we actually make the Money in the Bank briefcase matter more? Is Bayley, like Cody, the leader that SmackDown needs to continue lead on as their champion? You look at the women's roster, SmackDown, it does feel like there are more heels that could oppose the champion versus a face, especially since we haven't seen Naomi turn yet. But we also know that I think there is a story that could happen with Naomi and Bayley if there's a fallout similar to maybe Cody's previous legacy. But also, again, Tiffany Stratton, she has been a rising star since drafted in her short period of time. And I imagine she wants that new Money in the Bank briefcase to showboat and showcase as long as she can, to build for that moment, because unlike the previous era, we're not rushing into things. We're actually letting them pace out. And for the most part, they have made sense, including the fact that they don't have the wide 6 immediately just shot on to SummerSlam. They're waiting, not even with Bo Dallas, they're waiting with the rest in a tag match on that Raw. I think that's smart strategy, but that's a whole different conversation. But that being said, Mark, you look at this women's championship, and again, it changed hands last year. Nia Jax still a little bit reckless, especially her sitting on Lyra during Night of Champions. I'm glad she can still breathe normal. Jesus. But where do you stand on this? You break the tie, or are you going to surprise us and go with Tiffany Stratton? Do you think it's Tiffany time?
This is actually the worst one you could have asked me on. This is the one that I had the most trouble with, honestly, and I've actually flip-flopped in the last 24 hours on my pick. Honestly, my original pick when I first looked at it was, okay, Bayley wins, Tiffany cashes in. I put a little bit more thought into it because I know I was coming on here today, and it's just the men's Money in the Bank, they used and cashed it out the first night. Okay, so I feel like that Tiffany's going to keep it a little bit longer. I could take a little bit of what Chris said. I mean, we're definitely going to get the Bedazzle case, and I almost feel like I can take a little bit from what Jeff said as far as what was it that he said I agree with? I don't know. I had brain fart. Either way, I think Nia Jax is, I don't know if I think she's doing the best work of her career, and that's not saying too much because I do see a little green in her, and I feel like that this is the most potent push that WWE has given her. And I have more reasons that says Nia Jax should win here than Bayley. Like if I was going to court, I could definitely feel like I could win for the case for Nia, but ultimately I'm going with Bayley to win, and I just. For some of what Jeff said and a little bit of what Chris said, but I know Chris went with Nia, but I'm ultimately going with Bayley. I feel like I'm babbling now, but I'm going with Bayley.
You're fickle. But that's great because, again, wrestling should be polarizing. It should give a sense of unpredictability. And if we're wrong, we're not necessarily upset, besides we lose the point, dang it. But we're interested to see where it goes from there. But again, I look at this roster. I thought Piper Niven had an incredible effort against Bayley at Clash of the Castle. I still want to see her versus Chelsea Green for this title. With Michael Satomura retiring, I would love to see a Japanese PLE where Michael gets a chance on nowhere. If they're not going to get a chance to Blair Davenport, who's still figuring out how to beat the likes of Michin and Naomi. I want to see a heel Naomi maybe go after Bayley if you're going to go with the heel versus face dynamic, because I look at the women's WWE champions. Roxanne Perez, absolute strongest. Bayley, though, she has been a workhorse, and most politically so. Why Liv Morgan's giving us the bigger story here with Mommy, which we'll talk about here soon enough. But I just think right now, just to kind of like sum this up, simply put, I think Bayley needs to continue being the face of SmackDown. I think she's still going to be champion, especially with the fact we're moving to USA for SmackDown literally in September. How do you want that premiere episode of SmackDown to go off? Who do you want as the faces of it? I think there's more money in marketing and appeal drawn to Bayley than there is Nia Jax at this moment. I think people rather just see Nia continue to chase and be mad when she comes close but doesn't get it, versus her being the champion and doing with something that could even be more, dare I say, reckless. And I mean, Bayley's not made as personal as it gets. Clumsy and reckless. We saw the move that Nia was during that satellite, face-to-face, side-by-side interview. So now it's coming in here pissed already. So again, it's going to make her look strong and maybe work her safely, but I don't think Bayley is losing. So that's my thing. I'm going with Bayley. But good luck to both. Have a good match. I promise I won't go to the concession for a hot dog. I will actually watch it. You heard that, JJ? You happy? Damn it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move forward where, again, as I like to say so eloquently when I talk about a certain individual, and Jeff, you're leading, but ladies and gentlemen, I demand all your gratitude for who could be your future World Heavyweight Champion. Get it out. Gunther, who will be contending for the World Heavyweight Championship against Judgment Day's own Damian Priest. And now that I got my usual intro out of the way, for you know how I feel about this sport and believe that the match is sacred, Jeff, you lead us off, followed by Mark, and Chris finishes out. Jeff, Gunther has already told us the legacy of this sport and the story of his rise and the purpose of his wrestling. Not for the fans, but to restore honor to something that has been a joke. Looking to gain something that he believes, simply put, is holding at the value of street trash. Damn. But both these men are out to prove a point if you follow their careers. And I have massive respect for both men, especially when I saw the side-by-side what they used to look like. Incredible peak shape. Jeff, it is on you. Who leads Monday Night Raw, the World Heavyweight Champion? And keep in mind, the next time we're on WPLE, guys, it's Bash at the Berlin on Gunther's home turf. It's yours, Jeff.
Well, first off, you did that better than Kaiser did, so I commend you on that, sir. You look at this, look at this on tape. You know, Damian, powerhouse. He's got the speed. Gunther, since he's dropped 40 pounds and toned up, he's gained the speed. He's actually doing more top rope moves than we've ever seen him do. He only did one, if you remember, back in NXT UK, because he doesn't usually leave the. Now has no problem in going to the top rope multiple times. So, Gunther has definitely improved, and I've always loved watching him. Heel, face, doesn't matter what kind of person we get, Walter, Gunther, whatever you want to call him. He's a freak in that ring. He knows what he's doing, and he does it to perfection.
Damn right.
Damian Priest has come a long way, and in such a short time. When he won Money in the Bank, I was happy for him. Didn't think, he doesn't have a chance. He's going to cash in. He's going to fail. And look where he is now. He has become the champion. He has defended the title the way it should be defended. Unlike Logan Paul.
Running gag. He's not wrong.
No. And he has made one hell of a champion, and I commend him for that. However, Damian is going up against someone that, of the likes of Gunther, he's never faced before. He is literally going up against a brick wall. And I don't think the Damian Priest is going to break down that wall and continue on as champion. As much as I would love to see Damian beat Gunther, it's not going to happen. Gunther is going to be your new champion. He's going to hold it for more than a year. But I don't think he's going to hold it as long as he did the Intercontinental title. I don't think he's got another 666-day run, plus, 666 is the number of the devil. So he's now going to have another long run with a different title to try to, I guess you could say, bring that negative into a positive, if you will. Gunther to become the new champion. I cannot wait. This is the match one of the two matches of the card that I'm really looking forward to. It's not going to be easy on both parts. It's going to be at least a 20-minute match, if not longer. I could see this easily going 25. They both have the stamina to do it. So I'm going Gunther. So you're going to have a brand new champion, brand new world heavyweight champion.
Mark, the only thing I gotta wonder is how many chops can Damian Priest endure? Because that first chop's gonna tell a lot about this match, seeing what happened to Finn Balor. God damn. That being said, Priest has been quite a champion. He's got a real chip on his shoulder, too, trying to prove a point. We know he's already defended against Jey Uso. He defended Seth against Drew McIntyre and Seth friggin' Rollins, of course, Clash the Castle. And while at one point he may have gotten injured almost, at one point Judgment Day may have helped, we are seeing the cracks in Judgment Day where Damian Priest says again, they need me, I don't need them. This is my championship, not Judgment Day's. And we've subtly seen a change in the meter on one Finn Balor, especially on Monday night. But that being said, Gooper, again, there's only 3 people in the history of WWE that's actually pinned him. Think about that. Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, and the Ilya Dragunov. Took me a moment to think about that. Yep. And again, we are going home to his land, where Ring Cop was born and the Lean General was created. Baszler Berlin. I love, by the way, you use the wall reference there, considering the walls of Berlin that collapsed. Mm-hmm. That being said, Mark, it's on you, man. What's the future of the World Heavyweight Championship? Do we make this become sacred, or does it continue to live in infamy?
I think Gunther will become World Heavyweight Champion in 3 weeks at Bash in Berlin. That's I've always thought that. I really feel like people have been waiting for Priest to lose. I feel like he hasn't had a credible win. And I feel like this will be his signature win to make all this worth it, to make the cash in, the WrestleMania, all this will be worth it for this signature win. And then Gunther can win it in 3 weeks in his home country or wherever it's at. I just think that's the perfect way to do it. I feel like you can make Priest look tough, and of course, Gunther will stay strong regardless. And I think that will be Priest's signature win of the title run, and I think Gunther wins it 3 weeks later. And I think Jeff's right. I think he will probably hold it for longer than a year, but I just don't. I think everybody thinks Gunther's going to win. I thought Gunther was going to win. I don't know. Maybe I just thought about it too much. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think that this is going to be Damian Priest's signature moment, and it's going to be a win over Gunther, which you just named people that have not a lot of people beat Gunther. So this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge for him. This is going to make Priest even bigger than he already has become in the little bit of run that he's had now. This will solidify it. And when he loses in 3 weeks, nobody will think any differently. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. We'll see.
I love it, though. Respect. And again, it's a split vote as we go down to Chris, who I saw can't see his forehead, but probably also been heavily thinking lately about this match in general. And again, we know we got the Damian Priest special happening here in Cleveland, which again, he is a mainstay, top-tier superstar in WWE. But Gopher, he's been the most, I would say, protected wrestler in the entire company, to the fact that there are so few people that have defeated him. Does 3 become 4? Is it just a foregone conclusion, though, where he goes home as champion or goes home to become champion? What's the bigger moment we want to see for Gunther? And do we think Damian Priest deserves this moment at SummerSlam? Again, you said yourself, it's one of the big 4. Judgment Day is upon us for the World Heavyweight Championship. And judgment now is on you, Chris, to wrap this up. So what's the future of the World Heavyweight Championship? You got Damian Priest or Gunther. You break the tie.
Well, this is one of the matches I am actually looking forward to. I feel this match on Saturday, it's going to be match of the night. It's going to be match of the night, and everybody's going to talk about, oh my gosh, Damian Priest, Gunther, what a match we saw at SummerSlam, and it was a banger. As far as this match goes, we got Bash in Berlin on Saturday, August 31st at the end of August.
Correct.
So, and that's in Berlin, Germany with Gunther's home turf or home whatever.
He's from Austria, but this isn't a world geography lesson. Continue.
But this is going to be a banger of a match. I've been going back and forth on this match. What is the bigger picture? I just feel Damian Priest needs to retain at SummerSlam.
You're not that crazy.
Because the thing is that they need to. This would give Damian Priest elevate him as the top guy and the top champion in WWE and give him credibility on his current status as a top tier champion. And I feel Damian Priest should retain. He's going to be having Damian Priest live with Peter Rosenberg, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley. And we also got counter in. He has a WWE 24 special coming up this month in August. So with that being said, Damian Priest is going to retain. And I think there's going to be shenanigans involved to make sure that Gunther don't win clean. I think in a way, I've been kind of seeing this. I feel we might be seeing Giovanni Vinci come out and help or maybe cost Gunther this match, because the thing is this: Gunther told Louis Kaiser to do something with Giovanni Vinci. They kicked Giovanni Vinci out of Imperium, and we saw in the WWE draft Giovanni Vinci went to SmackDown, where Gunther and Louis Kaiser stayed on Monday Night Raw. So I feel Giovanni Vinci needs to come in and get his revenge on what Gunther and Louis Kaiser did to him by kicking him out of Imperium. So I think Damian Priest retains, and I think Gunther wins the World Heavyweight Championship in Bash in Berlin. That will be his moment instead of SummerSlam. And that's what I'm going to say.
Well, then. The Imperium curveball definitely threw me off, considering we haven't thought about Giovanni Vinci since he got drafted to SmackDown. So congratulations on actually giving him creative booking. Triple H, you can send the royalties. Christopher Roth, he's here in Ohio. He can give you an address later. That being said, I do understand where you guys are coming from. It does feel like it's a foregone conclusion with Gunther, but we know he deserves it. But Damian Priest is proving a point why he is El Campeón, and he earned it, despite the fact he used Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. And that's also proverbial asterisk next to him, because technically speaking, he did not actually beat the man that took the title from him under the same situation. It's also one of those things where I do think about, I thought for the longest time this match was going to be Seth freaking Rollins versus Gunther. And no matter what, I was picking Gunther to be my champion, because I think Gunther and Seth were building to that moment. And then we got this curveball here that Mark will literally pick up with as I segue into that match in a moment. But it's just one of those things where I do think right now the bigger story here is not the title moment, but the Judgment Day's continuation, or finally its implosion. And whether or not it completely implodes from the inside out, or one aspect, the men or the women. it's one of those things where I've been jockeying between Judgment Day story progressing with the dissension and the fallout of them versus the rise of Gunther, who again has been the most protected wrestler in the entire WWE landscape. And let's keep in mind, titles only change hands via pinfall or submission. Count disqualification means nothing. If these two go brawl for all style, then the title doesn't mean jack shit because they're just going to beat the daylights out of each other. If Damian Priest gets incapacitated by Gunther and he doesn't pin or submit him in the ring, Gunther doesn't win the championship. He just leaves the champion laying. That will just add even more of a chip on Damian Priest's shoulder because you know how bad Damian Priest wants to win this to prove a point. I do think there's more commonalities with Damian Priest and Gunther going into Bash of the Berlin. Now with the Judgment Day fallout here, and Finn Balor probably being the main piece causing it besides with Morgan. So I think after what I've heard from all of you, despite the fact I saw Gunther versus Drew McIntyre last year live for the Intercontinental Championship and Gunther won, it's just one of those things where why would you book this show so far in advance called Bash at the Berlin, where the marquee guy right now you're marketing for is Gunther, without him somehow, some way being involved with a championship going in. Strictly put, I'm just going off a business standpoint. I still think they're going to push the Judgment Day agenda, and I think they made Gunther for this moment, regardless of opponent now. I'm going with Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Whether I'm wrong or right, we'll see what happens, but that's the horse I'm riding on, ride or die. For the mat is always sacred when the League General is on my screen. Damn sure deserves it. Damian Priest, I hope you prove me wrong, honestly, but you're going to need a lot of breath in your lungs to do it. Gunther for the win for me. It's going to be a damn good match, though. And to Mark's point, yeah, this is like top 2 for me. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch gears now away from the championships. We're at a halfway point. I figured this is perfect. We're going to switch the order around now. So we're going with Mark, who, of course, is right below me, like I said. Then we're going to go to Jeff and Chris and talk about cult of personality and changing the culture and causing chaos from within, making it as personal as possible. Now you got to get a freaking special guest referee to keep the peace. We know none of it's going to be kept. Let's go ahead and talk about Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk with special guest referee Seth freaking Rollins. Boy, oh boy, is karma a bitch. As Drew McIntyre prayed, CM Punk got injured at the Royal Rumble. He has had nothing but a curse, worse than Danhausen, literally on him where he cannot hold on or win a World Heavyweight Championship as long as CM Punk has breath in his lungs. A truth be told, he had it for 5 minutes and 46 seconds at WrestleMania, and then he lost it. And he hasn't been able to get it back since. But he's also made it personal to the point he's bludgeoned this man in his home city. He's wearing a bracelet with the names of his dog and his wife, literally bringing in his family. Someone tells me he's going to try and rip Drew McIntyre's wrist off just because of that. I'm not thinking Anaconda Vice. Now, Mark, we've heard the rules laid down by Seth freaking Rollins, and simply put, there are no rules. What he says goes. He counts when he feels like counting. He, does the pin when he thinks the pin is, properly set. He will call a submission when he thinks the guy is completely incapacitated. But if somebody riles up him, who, again, the only one that hates these two more than each other is Seth freaking Rollins, who has a hate for these two both equally, he has no problem burning it down and playing their heads into the dirt. I think that pitch just set himself up for a literal crap fire and a riot within the ring. Because there's no way peace is going to be kept with these 3 men wrestling. Keyword wrestling. So, Mark, you're wearing the shirt. No pressure. But what do you think happens in CM Punk's first singles match since he returned to WWE?
That's awesome. You pointed that out because I was going to say, I know this is awful, but I'm going with Drew, even wearing a CM Punk shirt.
Wow.
And the reason why I know it's crazy, I should have probably thought this out a little bit better before I put this on. But I am going with Drew just because Punk has put Drew through so much, and I really don't have much to say on it. I'm just ready for it. Like the build has been awesome. It's probably one of the hottest programs on the whole entire show. And you know what? This match is the only match I have no notes for. None. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Let them fight. And I wouldn't be I know Seth's gonna get involved, and I wouldn't even care if they did the same thing as SummerSlam 97. I really would not care. Spit, chair, whole 9 yards. Do it again. It was great then, and they can be great this time too. But I think that Seth will get involved. and I think Drew ultimately in the long run is going to win. And there's no way that this program is going to be a one-off. Even if we get a cage match, we're going to get something else. And I feel like if Punk won, I don't know if it will put a stamp on the story, but I still think there's going to be more than one. So, which leads me to believe that Drew wins.
Fair. And who's to say Seth freaking Rollins won't pull a DQ if CM Punk goes against him? Why Seth has complete control over the Second City Saint. Seth's going to have a field day with this. I'm with you, by the way. Just let them fight. Let all hell break loose. Go up in the cheap seats in the Cleveland Brown Stadium. Throw a Cleveland Brown helmet over someone's head. I don't care. Just let it go crazy. Balls to the walls. But I like chaos. What can I say? But that being said, this is definitely probably the most violent match of the night. That will degrade probably into a fight. Well, Jeff, again, Drew McIntyre's been on a personal vendetta. We know that he resigned, of course, to WWE. So, again, that quit angle, I didn't buy that for a second. But CM Punk as well, he is back here, and it seems like he has long-term plans for his career in WWE. To the point, he wants to lead NXT. It's one of those things where I do look at the fact that we still have not gotten Seth freaking Rollins for CM Punk either. And I don't think the fact we got Bad Blood coming in the fall is a coincidence here, especially with these three men, which might have more blood in it than the bloodline, if you know what I mean. Right. That being said, Jeff, what do you think about this? Who do you got getting the decision? And does Seth actually declare the decision? Or maybe he gets taken out and we actually do get a regular official brave enough to actually give us a decision this match. What do you got?
Well, you got to stop and think. Between the three of these, it's like mixing oil and water. It just does not work out well. Who does Seth Rollins dislike more, Punk or McIntyre? This is what it's going to boil down to. It's exactly what it boils. Because yes, he's had his differences with McIntyre, but he's outright said that he hates and can't stand CM Punk.
Exactly.
So, with that in mind, because damn well that's going to come into play, where I think he's going to favor a little bit more towards Drew than he would CM Punk when it comes to the end of the match. I don't see... I see it down the middle throughout 99% of the match. I really do. Like, he's going to have his issues with Punk. He's going to have his issues with McIntyre. It's going to go back and forth. It's like he one could be pinning the other. He could go down for 1-2 and just stop. It could happen. It could happen the other way. Yeah, it's like it could happen the other way when the other one's going for the pin. 1-2 and just stop. As he said. Yeah, my liver. No, but I mean, he said it himself. There is no rules. He'll do the pinfall when he sees fit. So we know something's going to go on. But in the long run, it's going to boil down to who he dislikes more, and it's Punk. So therefore, I've got to give the win to Drew.
Simply put, I mean, again, what did Seth say? Actions have consequences.
Yep.
Karma is a bitch. The words of CM Punk echoed by Seth Rollins after CM Punk cost Seth a chance at what's most important to him, Chris, the World Heavyweight Championship, back in Clash of the Castle. We already know how much Seth hates CM Punk ever since he arrived last year at War Games in Chicago, had that personal vendetta against him, saying this company does not need you. But is it arguably safe to say that Seth Rollins has never been more interesting since CM Punk came back on WWE's grand stage? The jury's still out on that. So, Chris, who do you got winning here? Do you have Seth Rollins give a decision to CM Punk or Drew McIntyre? So far, it's 2 for Drew.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this has been one of the most best, well-booked storylines in WWE's history for a very long time, and is well-booked. It is properly booked perfectly. Drew took CM Punk. He got injured at the Royal Rumble. Then Drew won the World Championship at WrestleMania. Then Drew ego got the best of him. He should have left WrestleMania as world champion. But no, he kept agitating. He kept agitating. He kept agitating CM Punk
the bear bit.
To the point CM Punk just snapped, and we got Damian Priest as world champion. Then CM Punk cost Drew at Clash of the Castle. Then CM Punk cost Drew at Money in the Bank. And also he cost Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. With Drew McIntyre and the track records with his referees is not looking good because he took down 2 referees. He elbowed Adam Pearce on the Money in the Bank show. And knowing later, Adam Pearce says, I had enough. Drew, you suspended. But overall, this is giving me SummerSlam 1997 vibes. I think Seth is going to cost CM Punk the match. Drew is going to win because Drew needs this win more than CM Punk does. This is CM Punk's first televised singles match in 10.5 years.
That's so crazy.
So we have to think about that a little bit. But Drew beat CM Punk. Seth cost him. What is next? Are we going to get these 3 at Bash in Berlin? Maybe a triple threat match? Or they might give us Seth or CM Punk. But I think Seth and CM Punk is the build towards WrestleMania 41 in Vegas. Because originally we were supposed to get Seth and CM Punk this year at WrestleMania 40. But with CM Punk getting hurt, we pivot. And that's how we got to see the WrestleMania Behind the Curtain documentary on YouTube. So I think Seth and CM Punk is the build towards WrestleMania in Vegas. I feel like we could get a triple threat with these 3 at Bash in Berlin. And then we could go to get Drew and CM Punk at Bad Blood on Saturday, October 5th, inside Hell in the Cell. And I'm making a prediction right in there. I think CM Punk gets his win over Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood, and he takes the bracelet off of Drew McIntyre and finally get that bracelet back to him. And maybe at that event, we might be seeing AJ Lee, or we might be seeing CM Punk's dog with him, or we might get both. Whatever happens this Saturday, Drew McIntyre gets a big win over CM Punk.
All right, then. I guess it's unanimous. I agree with you. I think Drew's going to get it too, not only because I think he's better in ring condition, and this is CM Punk's first match back to in-ring action. This is a bigger story in him losing than winning. Again, we're looking at Bad Blood. This is the same show that had one of the damnedest Hell in the Cells we ever saw between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And we're celebrating this very stage of it 25 years to the day. Literally. If this don't scream long-term storytelling, full circle moment, big giant silver cage of hell. And I love the idea of CM Punk grabbing the bloody bracelet of Drew McIntyre's probably broken wrist, considering all hell can break loose inside Hell in a Cell. It just feels like to me that right now you're going to use CM Punk to continue to raise the ire of Drew McIntyre with the only person, the only voice of reason there being Wade Barrett, who can't do anything because he's retired. But yeah, to me, it just feels like with Seth in there right now, he is just going to have the time of his life, making CM Punk's life a living hell more than Drew McIntyre, because if nothing else, I think he respects Drew for what he and Drew did back at WrestleMania, because he and CM Punk have never done that, nor do I think Seth wants to do that yet. So yeah, I think it makes more sense right now for Drew McIntyre to get the win, because at the end of the day, just because he's back on the grandest stage doesn't mean CM Punk has to be the guy that literally is standing tall at the end of the night. And with Seth, I'm pretty sure Seth's going to do everything in his power to make sure that is not what happens. Adam Pearce, I don't think you realize what you booked. But hey, thanks for making it official. This will be fun to watch. All right. Well, as we're going to watch chaos unfold, Jeff, watch me give you this to lead because you're going to talk about the future of the women's world championship. It's Liv Morgan and her revenge tour coming ahead, the biggest event of the summer against Mommy Rhea Ripley, looking to take everything from her and nearly done so to this point. Okay, so let's go. I kind
of look like her, don't I?
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Why was that the 1 of 5 frames that I actually captured? Get her. Anyway, Jeff, we've been watching this story unfold with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. Of course, that revenge goes all the way back to the last time Rhea injured Liv, and so she got a little bit of revenge back, injuring Rhea, who, of course, lost this championship. In case of Glass, bring out the man. And the man, of course, lost to Liv Morgan back at King and Queen of the Ring. And we've been on the Liv Morgan revenge tour ever since. To the point, she's been trying to grab Dominic, who said, "You're not my mommy," and professed that to the point that she broke her heart. So it seems. But again, I think there is change within the Judgment Day that will unfold this Saturday. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Simple Cliff Notes and thoughts as I, again, give it to this man to lead. And then we're going, of course, around the horn like usual. Jeff and Chris and Mark. Jeff, what happens with the Women's World Heavyweight Championship? Is Mommy still on top? Or does Liv leave her in the bottom?
That is a very good question, Noah. I'm glad you brought that up. Here's what I think. Personally, I have enjoyed this story between Mommy, Dirty Dom, and Liv. This has been I've gotten many laughs out of this whole thing.
Good grief.
Right.
But and randomly is found with a leg lifted in the. Never mind. Continue.
Yeah, exactly. And I've actually enjoyed this story from start to finish, and I must say that it's sad that this story is going to come to an end come SummerSlam. But I will say this: I think it will. I think this will come to an end come SummerSlam. I will say this though: Liv Morgan has been, a decent champion to this point. She's shown up. She's claimed her case. She's done what she needs to do, more so than Logan Paul. But I will say that Rhea never lost the title. She has never been pinned for that title. That title belongs to Rhea Ripley, and I believe at SummerSlam she will get it back. Kind of like what happened to Roxanne Perez in NXT, where she was never pinned, and therefore she ended up getting back her NXT Women's Championship. This is kind of the same ordeal, just a different situation. But I think that Mommy is going to become a champion yet again. Liv Morgan's revenge tour is coming to an abrupt halt in Cleveland, Ohio. And nothing she can do about it but just sit back and cry, because that's what she's going to do. But Dirty Dom's going to play a part in this. He's finally going to basically kick her to the curb, so to speak. This is where the final goodbye. We saw him tell her, "I want nothing to do with you." And there goes Liv Morgan crying. Well, this is going to be the last nail in the coffin when it comes to this revenge tour, because I think this will be the end between Dominic, Liv, and Rhea. Rhea walks out the new Women's World Champion.
Okay, then. I find that quite interesting, considering I've been thinking about this a little bit differently when I talk about Judgment Day's outlook going forward between the men and the women. Chris, now, again, Mommy has always been on top in the entire WWE, if we're being perfectly honest. But Liv Morgan, she's out to prove a point and saying that everything Rhea has should be mine. And she has 99% at this point, except for Dominic Mysterio. But I do think, and this is just me going off pop culture, never trust a woman. And also, some men know how to play the game. That being said, Chris, what do you think is going to happen with the Women's Heavyweight Championship? Does Liv Morgan finally culminate her revenge tour with a victory over Rhea Ripley and make sure she is nowhere near this title again, and maybe something else for that matter?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I feel this has been the best well-booked women's matches for SummerSlam in a very long time.
That's a fair point.
And I personally feel that I feel possibly the Damian and Gunford, that's going to be happening first before the Rhea Liv match. So this is going to be a good match between these two women. I do think we are going to get a rematch with them. And I do see this feud continuing towards Bad Blood. What I said for the men, Drew, CM Punk, I feel I said we're going to get a Hell in a Cell for the men with Drew and CM Punk. I think Liv and Rhea are going to have a Hell in a Cell match for the women's side at Bad Blood to culminate this epic rivalry between Liv and Rhea.
Well, I guess it's better than a Dominic Mysterio on a ladder match.
The custody of Dominic.
I was about ready to say that, Jeff.
Oh, Lord.
Great minds think alike.
Very minds.
But as far as this match goes, I know everybody is saying, oh, Dom's going to betray Rhea. Dom's going to go with Liv. No, I don't think that is going to happen. Because what I saw on Monday, somebody destroyed the clubhouse. I don't think Liv Morgan did the destroying the clubhouse. I have a gut feeling this is all Finn Balor's doing. Because I think Finn and Liv are working together. They are working together. And what I saw back in 2022, where we had Judgment Day, we had Adam Copeland, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley taking on AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan. Finn and Liv, they teamed up in 2022. Now, 2 years later, they're going to be working together again. And I think Finn Balor has been using Dom as a scapegoat all this time. And JD Madonna, he's also a part of this.
It's doing the Finn.
And I think, and we got to understand, Damian and Rhea, they are baby faces. And all the rest are heels. So that has to tell you what a clear vision looks like. Liv Morgan, she is trying her best to take everything from Rhea. She took Dom. She helped Finn and JD won the tag team championships. And I forgot to add this. Maybe if Giovanni Vinci don't cause Gunther, maybe Liv Morgan could help Damian Priest retain the World Heavyweight Championship. To stir fire. Stir fire. But I do believe we are going to have that explosion with the Judgment Day. And I think it's going to be Finn, JD, and Liv. And then we could get Damian, Finn. We could get Damian, Rhea Ripley, and even Dominic Mysterio in a six-person tag match. Because I feel that is where things are heading towards with the Judgment Day. And I'm going to tell you, I got Liv Morgan retaining the Women's World Champion on Saturday. Liv, she took Dom from Rhea. Liv helped Finn and JD win the tag titles. And also Carlito. Well,
it's the first time you mentioned his name.
Well, guess what? They rewarded Carlito, and Finn and JD by playing WWE 2K24, the video game, on their PlayStation. So thanks to Liv Morgan on that. So yeah, Liv Morgan is going to retain Saturday, and
probably accurate.
Maybe Finn Balor's going to be the one that's going to cost Rhea, and we're finally going to see the explosion from Judgment Day starting at SummerSlam, and we head towards the fall season.
Okay, then.
Seems to me they rewarded Carlito with a match against Jey Uso, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, yeah, then he got the apple get out of his mouth with that spear. That was cool, by the way.
Yes, that was.
That being said, well, again, Mark, it's split. You're the guy that closes. Is this really a cause and effect? We talked about the men's side of things with the champion retaining. Do we get the opposite or do we get the same? And is everything fine with the Judgment Day? Insert death of dogs drinking tea in a flaming room here. Again, I do think, again, to what Safety said also, I did notice that Finn Balor's picture was untouched, and Finn did grab that key card to the hotel room that one night. Now, I don't think he was there to have 7 minutes of fun. I think he was there to have a night of planning and scheming. Arguably, is Rhea Ripley being ousted from the Judgment Day because maybe Finn Balor is tired of her authority. Maybe Finn Balor wants to be the leader once again, and maybe for the more he thinks that's possible. Or again, like I said, because women, you can never trust a woman, but some men, they know how to play the game. What's the bigger angle we can get out here besides Dominic Mysterio turning against his mommy? Just saying. But Mark, it's on you. It's 1-1. Where do you stand with the Women's Heavyweight Championship? And Judgment Day's future, for that matter.
Well, you left me. How can I put this? The point I was going to make is the one you wanted me to avoid. And I think Chris nailed everything except for which side Dom's going to be on. And I know you guys, I think Jeff's the one that didn't agree with this. Dom's a heel. I mean, clearly, but I mean, he's going. I think they're gonna find out that he's been in cahoots with Liv, and I know you guys clearly said that's not. You didn't think that was going to happen, but I don't know. That's the great thing about this SummerSlam is because everything could go either way, and I feel like that is exactly what's going to happen. I feel like the whole burn-in, the pictures, all that was a rib. I mean, they've been in cahoots since day one, and I just feel like when Liv said she was going to take everything, she's literally going to take everything, including her spot in the Judgment Day. And you're right, Rhea and Priest are the only true two baby faces, honestly. And what do they call this? The Twin Towers or whatever it is. Yeah, either way, I think it's going to be Dom. It's going to be Balor, and Balor is the one that probably did the clubhouse. Like everything Chris said was nailed it. I'm on board. I wasn't on board with which side Dominic was on, but ultimately I do have Liv retaining. So.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with you, Mark, here. I think that Liv's gonna retain as well, because I do think Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan has influenced him to say that you could be more without your mommy. And imagine this as a real, proverbial death loop. Damian Priest retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Liv Morgan holds on to the Women's Heavyweight Championship. One's in Judgment Day. The other one believes they own Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio, though, he's the guy, though, that literally tells each side how it is. And maybe Dominic goes after Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship ahead of Baszler Berlin, just to fuck everything up even more. Because Dominic Mysterio right now has been the most polarized figure in this whole entire Judgment Day women's two-way picture. Let's just put it out there. Despite the fact that Cam more boos than the audience can actually boo him with. To the point that we can't even hear the man on the mic try to explain his piece. Hell, he couldn't even give the black rose to mommy when Rhea Ripley returned. But something about this right now with the fact that Raw's top baby face in the women's division is Rhea Ripley. Hello. Tells me that there is something else planned for her besides still being Judgment Day's leader, with the fact that these men can't stay in line. And Liv Morgan's the one that says, go ahead, stay on line, cause chaos, watch me, and do it like me. It sounds like they're going to do that. Again, Finn Balor, JD, they're tad chance because of Liv Morgan, not because of Rhea. And not because of Damian Priest either, where Damian Priest has been putting more so his own agenda ahead of the group. And Finn Balor might be using that against him. I think it's a double team here. I think Liv and Finn are behind this, and they influence Dom along the entire way. Well, they're going to force him to if they haven't already. But I think it's going to be Finn, Dom, and Liv that are going to lead Judgment Day in whatever hell direction they're freaking heading, while Rhea and Damian are on the outside looking in. And then you got that bad blood, like you said, possible Hell in a Cell match. But yeah, I'm going with Liv Morgan to retain out of storytelling reasons. And that's only because of that, because I still think Rhea Ripley deserves to be champion. Judge me. I dare you. But I got to go with Liv Morgan just based on the story. You're saying this ends at SummerSlam? No, we're just going into the next chapter. And there's going to be hell to pay when it comes to Rhea Ripley's brutality. Mark my words. All right. Well, that was fun. Again, a lot of these matches have very unique stories, a very unique polarizing contrast towards which way they can go. But if there's one match I could call on this show, well, I'm not calling it, of course, because I'm going to be there live, that I think almost everybody is going to say the same person. Chris, the match you're leaning off, I think very well might be that. Now, the question is, do we Goldberg this? Do we Brock Lesnar SummerSlam 2013 this? Or do we get another wrestling clinic where the underdog stays under this time and we crown a brand new Intercontinental Championship? Let's go ahead and talk about this guy, shall we? Sami Zayn, our current Intercontinental Champion, defends the gold once again against the force of Monday Night Raw. That runs fast as Usain Bolt. Shout out the Olympics. Braun Breaker. Of course, the dolls are going to be out barking. I don't know about you all, but I was shocked to see Braun Breaker just miss out on the Intercontinental Championship Money in the Bank. I thought he was going to get it, but something in me felt like they were going to do this because Braun Breaker right now, when I see the most potential wrestler as Gunther, Braun Breaker right now is probably the most over draft pick on the Monday Night Raw roster. He has so much going for him, it's ridiculous. And I'm not just saying his speed when they do that crazy camera angle around the ring. I love that. Sami Zayn's already felt the impact of the spear more times than I can count, but how many times do you fight an underdog before the underdog has no way out? WWE, bring that back. That being said, Chris, Braun Breaker, of course, one of the most prolific NXT champions this generation, two-time NXT champion. He's been running roughshod for everybody on Monday Night Raw, including Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov, just to name a couple of victims. Do you see Braun Breaker winning his first singles championship in less than a year, might I add? He's only been up here since April at SummerSlam. Does he finally break Sami Zayn in half with maybe not more, maybe not one spear, maybe as many as it takes, and finally relinquish him in the Intercontinental Championship?
Well, before I get my prediction, I'm going to go with the bonus point first. I'm just going to say this match is going to be over 5 minutes.
I agree. Respect the Intercontinental Championship. Damn, it's the workhorse title for a reason. Continue.
So it's going to be over 5 minutes. I think it's going to be the same amount of time they had in Money in the Bank. So it's going to be maybe 20 to 25 minutes. I'm just going to say
23 minutes when they're third after Clash of the Castle. I'm just saying, but continue.
And look at this. You brought up about Chad Gable. Chad Gable had 5 chances to get the Intercontinental Championship. He fell once, fell twice, fell 3 times, fell 4 times, fell 5. He's 0-5. And Braun Breaker, he only had 2 Intercontinental Championship matches. He lost his first. He's going to win his second. And this is his redemption match from Money in the Bank. And personally, I knew what they were going to do with Sami and Braun for Money in the Bank. Sami, he won. The reason they had Sami retain at Money in the Bank, it's because of it's in Canada. He lost in Canada to Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in 2023. Now in 2024, he won in Canada. He retained the Intercontinental Championship. And on the night before Money in the Bank and also the night before SummerSlam, he'd be doing his comedy show the night before. So we're going to wish him the best of luck on this weekend with his comedian show. Hope he does well. And we have to figure about this. I'm giving a stat. If you want to know a stat, hit Stat Boy Mike up. He'll give you all the stats.
Keep plugging.
Here's a stat.
Follow your marquees, folks.
Here's a stat for you. This is Sami Zayn's first SummerSlam main card match. The last time Sami competed at SummerSlam was on a pre-show in 2016 when Sami Zayn teamed up against Neville Pack. It's the same person, different characters, teaming up against the Dudley Boys on the pre-show. So that was the last time in 2016, and that SummerSlam took place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And now we go to 2024. Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker. This is his time to be the Intercontinental Championship. This is his time to be the unstoppable Braun Breaker. And I think Braun Breaker is going to keep that championship all the way towards the end of the year, and he's going to go into 2025 as Intercontinental Championship. So I have Braun Breaker winning, and my mind went to out of nowhere. I've been thinking about this heavily. Are they swerving us or are they not? Because I just have a gut feeling. We already know that this ring announcer is not going to be leaving WWE anytime soon, and that is Samantha Irvin. And we've been getting reports, I'm putting in air quotes, that this person could be AEW bound, but I don't think he's going to AEW. I think he is going to re-sign back to WWE, and I think this Saturday we're going to hear an ambulance sound. I have a gut feeling after the match, we're going to hear that ambulance sound, and out of nowhere, it is the one and only Ricochet. I feel this Saturday, Ricochet returns back to WWE. He attacks Braun Breaker after the match, and then we head towards Braun Breaker's first Intercontinental Championship title feud with Ricochet going into Bash in Berlin on Saturday, August 31st.
All right, Mr. Storytelling. All right. I mean, it's a fair analysis. That being said, I mean, we know Sami Zayn also had a friend that tagged with him. And again, the friend saw what happened. And main event Jay has yet to win any singles gold since being the guy of WWE, or at least the Uso. And I'm sure we all want to Yeet at SummerSlam, but unless he shows up out of nowhere, I just don't see that happening. Kind of disappoints me. That being said, Mark, again, Sami Zayn, he is the guy. He is the underdog from the underground. He is that one that literally is almost a ragdoll at this point with the way that he gets trashed in that ring. But he does find a way to win. But Braun Breaker, how many times can Braun Breaker be able to get this close to the moment without achieving it? But personally, I think we might be setting up Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. And I think that would be very interesting. And that's kind of why I'm going with Braun Breaker to also gain it. So, Mark, it's second time the charm for the Steiner, or does Sami Zayn once again surprise us and find a way to win at the biggest event of the summer?
All right, I'm gonna make this quick. I'm just gonna rewrite what I have down. Braun's not losing back to back. Like that's dead.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah, that's it. Sammy's been teaming with Jay here recently, so post SummerSlam after the Roman return, I think Roman's going to recruit his old bloodline, Jimmy, Jay, even Sammy, to go against Civil War, the Bloodline 2.0, and I think it starts with the recruitment. But either way, like I said, Braun wins. That's it.
I mean, is there anything further to say here, Jeff? I think this is the easiest match that we should be calling here, because if Braun Breaker doesn't win, what the hell is Triple H and Paul Heyman doing? Jeff, go ahead.
That's true. This is the other of two matches that I'm looking forward to, and to reiterate or to go on what Chris said.
Right.
Yes, that too.
I got
Of
course, folks.
yeah, I know he was saying something about going 20, 25 minutes. Mind you, the last time Zayn and Braun fought at the last pay-per-view, it was only 13-minute match. So
5, but
yeah, it was longer than 5, but under 20. I don't see it hitting 20. I would like to see it, but I don't. Going back to the match, though, Sami Zayn on his 4th Intercontinental title run, which I think that any one of his title runs is better than Logan Paul's. Personally, I would love to see Sami retain, but I don't think that's feasibly possible. Yes, absolutely, six of them, and trust me, there might be a 7th one on the way. I don't see Sami losing. Braun needs a singles title. This is the golden opportunity for him to do so. As much as a lot of people hate this character of Braun Breaker, I'm absolutely loving it. This right here that we're seeing from Braun is a mixture between Rick and Scott in their
Literally.
because you have the power of Scott right there, and then you've got the craziness, the speed and the mat technician kind of thing of Rick. So you've got both right here. You've got whether it be the face team or the heel team or whatever you want to go with. This is the culmination right here. This is the best Braun Breaker I think that we have seen, including when he was in NXT. He deserves this title. This is a title that neither one, Scott or Rick, ever got.
Correct.
I mean, they never went after a singles title. They only did tag team. They didn't get singles titles till they were in WCW. But, Braun, I think this is a good place for him to start his Intercontinental run, a singles run. I think this is going to be the night. Braun Breaker for the win. Sorry, Sami, but, the proof is in the pudding. You had the lucky win last time.
Yeah.
You ain't going to be so lucky this time.
Yeah,
Lucky got the first one.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he's not going to be able to out agility Braun Breaker this time. Where again, like you said, it was one lucky jump out of a spear that Braun collided into the ring post. Sami capitalized with a hula kick, and Braun dropped like a freaking bag of bricks. So it just feels like to me, if they go for that spot again, Braun's going to outsmart Sami and then catch him with another spear. I'm going to guess there's going to be at least 3 spears, maybe 4, before Sami is down for the 3 count. I don't think it's going to go to the point that the rest will be like, stop him, he's injuring him, I do think he's going to literally legitimately beat him for the 3 count because Braun is a guy that breaks you. He does not submit you. So I don't expect a submission out of Braun Breaker, but I expect one heck of a aggressive fight from the dog of WWE, these mean dog, against the underdog of the underground. And then again, like I said, Jey Uso, Ilya Dragunov. I could watch the Dragunov and Braun Breaker fight each other for the rest of my life. Although Ilya right now might be trying to recover from whatever the hell happened to him last match. Damn it. But yeah, I just think Braun Breaker is the guy right now to really push the work ethic of the Workhorse Championship. Outfitting. As the Intercontinental Champion. I gotta go with Braun here. All right. Well, good stuff, guys. Before we get another insight about Logan Paul here shortly, Mark, you get to lead things off for our main event, where I do think with the fact there's so much storytelling, so much suspension of disbelief, blurring the line between black and white, going in the gray, and the unpredictability, why the result may seem 100% obvious, what do I always say regarding the undisputed WWE Championship for the last 2 years plus? It's not about the result. It's about the story. And Mark, I acknowledge you to lead the story. We finished one story. I think it's safe to say come Saturday, we're about to begin another story. And I don't think it's what people think only. Let's go ahead and talk about the one, the only undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defending the gold against the leader of Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa. Something tells me Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu will not be too far behind. This is really interesting because, again, it was literally last year where Cody confronted Solo and says, you think you're ready, you're not ready. And I'm just going to leave it at that because, like I said, I acknowledge Mark to lead this. Mark, is Solo Sikoa ready? Well, once again, is WWE led by the man that finished the story, Cody? And is there another story to come into play following? The floor is yours for the main event. What happens?
Arguably, there's like 3 stories here, but I'm not going to break them all down clearly. But I also, Hikuleo has been signed and rumored as well. I just want everybody to keep that in mind. I don't know if it's going to play a part here. Ultimately, Cody wins. Cody wins. And honestly, I've actually heard, as much as a slam dunk as Cody should be winning here, I've actually heard people trying to build up a Solo win. Like, I don't get it, but I can kind of get it, but I don't get it. No, I'm going with Cody. But I ultimately think we get a Roman return here. And this is the start of the Civil War. We will get a Roman and Solo stare down. But some people are saying that's after Solo wins. But like I said, that's not me. That is definitely not me. That's not me. I think Cody definitely. Yeah. I think this is the start of the Civil War, and I think that's how we're going to go off there. And I think we're going to get Roman back after the fact. But I think Cody wins, and I could go on for the next half an hour. I could really deep dive into this one.
I think that's kind of the point of this match when you think about it. But continue.
Yeah, it is, and that's the whole point. That is the whole point here, and I just think that there's so much to tell here with both sides, and I think Roman and Solo will have their stare down, but I think Cody kind of separates himself for the meantime from the Bloodline story after his win, but I think that the Bloodline story doesn't need the title. Ultimately, that's where they will get back to. And I think that's when Roman's a baby face, and that's when we ultimately get the Roman and Cody rematch. And it could be a similar like Hogan Warrior 2 baby faces going at it for the first time. Because remember when everybody was tired of seeing Brock and Roman, but it was different. It was different there that last time because it was Roman as a heel. It was Farmer Brock or whatever the case may be. It was different. And I feel like the Cody and Roman, the next time we get Cody and Roman, it's going to feel a lot different. And I think they're going to go away from that for a little bit until we figure out the dominant side of the Bloodline. But Cody wins.
Well, I think it's safe to say, if nothing else, it's got to be Cody. Again, Jeff, we know that.
Oh, my God.
We know that fits WrestleMania. Cody's winning. Cody Rhodes has been the guy for WWE for the last 2 years. One of the largest merch sellers. Everyone says his theme. He's the face of SmackDown. And at this point, if you're not going for Cody, I do think that you're a little bit off your rocker. But there is definitely more story elements in the fact that Cody's winning. And The Rock gave them that real thing with the Raw after Mania that some may not know what that is. But clearly, I know what Cody has in his pocket. Is what part of those beads were that Roman used to wear around his neck. But that being said, I don't. Sorry. I'm sorry. I had to forget that one night. It's such a damn obvious result. It's not. Anyway, Jeff, go ahead and give your 2 cents on what you think the story is going to be come the end of SummerSlam.
If I can stop crying, I will.
Okay. Sorry, I had to do it. Too damn good. It's too damn obvious. We know for a fact that Cody. But Solo Sikoa, again, he's a guy that literally took the reins, pun intended, of the Bloodline by force. Why Roman earned respect, he demands it. And he's destroyed everybody that's gone against it, including Paul Heyman, which still is one of the biggest WTFs to me this year. I'm just saying. Goddamn. That being said, we know The Rock also just finished up a film as well. And what did The Rock say the night after WrestleMania? Your story with Roman's over, as Mark was alluding to, but your story with me is just beginning. Do we begin that story, or do we only focus on the Bloodline story? And I will say this about this picture, not saying Cody, but you do see who's in the background on the far left, right? Considering that was the man that started Cody's legacy. pun intended. So, Jeff, where do you stand on this match, and where does the story go for Cody Rhodes? Cody's winning.
Okay, first off, we know that Solo Sikoa does not have a great track record when it comes to pay-per-views.
Right?
He's got a lot more losses than he does wins. Obviously,
expect that number. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is we're going to see a return. And I know where you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, clearly.
I think we are going to see the return of Roman Reigns, and it's going to cost Solo the match. I think that's what's going to happen because we have to set up War Games. Now is the time to do it. You've got 3 months that you can build on this. This is the time to plant that seed for this flower to grow, if you will, called the Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0.
And will the Survivor Series War Games officially announced out of it, with the fact that Survivor Series hasn't even been mentioned yet?
Exactly. I think it will be once Roman returns, and I think you'll see that this Saturday. As far as Cody, great champion. He's held that title look at that. WrestleMania, he's had a great run as champion, has done how many defenses now? If
you look at house shows, I think he's done over 50.
Yeah, which is more than we can say about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So I've got to give this to Cody. I think that his run is going to continue. I don't see it exactly 7. We hit it. And that's even including the match that didn't have a title. Because even with that match is better than Logan Paul. So,
oh my gosh. Continue.
But yes, Cody is going to hold. We're not going to see a 6-7 month run. I think Cody is going to hold on to this title. He's going to go into WrestleMania with the title. Now, he may lose it right after, which is totally fine. Let him have a year-long run. I think the guy deserves it. I mean, considering where this whole thing came from, his father was this close of winning that title and had it taken from him, all because of a technicality.
Damn technicality.
I know. So he finished the story. He needs to keep this title long, a lot longer than a few months. So I don't see Solo winning and taking this title. I don't see Roman Reigns getting involved in said title after this is all said and done, because he's going to be focused elsewhere. He's going to be focused on War Games. And, whenever we see Roman, we're going to see Paul Heyman. So I think Paul Heyman also returns at SummerSlam. And this is going to set this whole thing up. It's going to blow up over the next couple months. We're going to see War Games happen. Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0. The Rock will be in the corner, because I don't think he'll be wrestling, but he'll be in the corner of, I think, Roman Reigns. I think we're going to go back to face Rock. We've seen the heel. It worked back in the 90s, but the 2020s Rock heel turn thing, it just isn't working. Rock is a good guy. He owns XFL. He is half owner of the UFL kind of thing. Everybody loves him for bringing this back, and I don't see how he can keep going with this heel character. I think he's going to go back face, because that's how Roman's kind of come in. That's where we're going to see Paul actually be a face, which we haven't seen since, I don't know, ECW. So there's going to be a lot going on with this match that doesn't have to do with this match, if you get my drift. It's all coming in from the outside. It's all going to start building up. And, Cody for the win. And you are right. It's got to be Cody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, come on, I mean, how could it not be? Look at that picture. How could it not be? Cody's walking out, still the champion, and that's all there is to it.
All right. So first off, again, we know the winner is going to be Cody, but it's just a matter of where the story goes from here. We talk about if Roman Reigns is going to return, and literally it seems like we've been planning the scenes of the Bloodline Civil War since Solo Sikoa became part of the Bloodline at Clash of the Castle 2 years ago, and figure now that he's ready to bring back this to the family actually have consequences. We look at the timeline of victims that the Bloodline has taken out. The very first one was Jimmy Uso. And then, of course, we talked about the next character in the Bloodline, and was Paul Heyman. But since the Bloodline brought in that enforcer and the small werewolf, Jacob Fatu, Jesus Christ almighty, he's now destroyed both Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. And Cody says he is going to go into this all on his own. Can we expect Solo Sikoa to actually be the same type of guy to not use the Bloodline to his advantage? Yeah, highly unlikely in all likelihood, quote unquote, Aaron Rift. But then I think about Roman Reigns coming back into play. What if he shows up in a hoodie, attacks during the match, costs during the match Solo Sikoa, to your point? What if Hikuleo does show up and he's the guy in the hoodie, tries to help Solo win? But for the first time, the freaking hoodie assailant doesn't succeed because of The Rock or Roman showing up. How big, how massive does this thing blow up? I don't think it goes as big as WrestleMania, where you have pretty much the Avengers War Games, because, again, you pretty much know what's happening here with War Games coming up Survivor Series. But I imagine there's going to be Kevin Owens. There's going to be Randy Orton. There's going to be the Bloodline. I don't know if Hikuleo is going to be involved at Saturday night, but I do think he is coming shortly, like you said. But I do think one constant is there. And not just the fact that Cody's winning, but I do also think that Roman Reigns is returning, because if you're going to really make this interesting, like The Rock's it again, and The Rock is not showing up at SummerSlam, in my opinion, then Roman has to be the guy to lead this story into its next chapter of existence.
Right.
And I think it starts with him coming back, Solo trying to take him out, saying he's the Tribal Chief now, and Jimmy Uso returns, and we go from there. Now, again, we're not fantasy booking or storytelling the entire Bloodline, so I won't be here all night. So that being said, let's close this thing out with the man who acknowledged Roman Reigns this entire time, and probably hopes to acknowledge him live on Saturday night. There's a reason why I saved you for last. Chris, we know for a fact in the storytelling, there's variety. In the decision, 9.99 out of 10 times, it's got to be Cody. So, again, what is your story to finish out SummerSlam for the Undisputed WWE Championship regarding Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa? What do you see happening?
Well, how is SummerSlam going to end?
That is the question.
Well, we all have to understand this. We got the tag team title match on Friday on SmackDown with DIY and the Bloodline. I could see, I'm going to say this, I think the Bloodline win the tag team champions on Friday, or you could have Jimmy Uso cost the Bloodline the tag team champions on Friday, and that will be the first domino effect to happen at SummerSlam weekend.
Okay.
Then we go to SummerSlam. I do believe maybe Randy Orton is going to be there. I think Kevin Owens is going to be there. But just say if Randy and Kevin are not there, and just say the Bloodline does win the tag titles, I think DIY gets involved in this match because they're frustrated that they lost the tag team championships and they're trying to beat down the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso could come back, but I feel he should come back this Friday. It'll be fitting. Then we know you know what happens in Bloodline matches. The referee goes out, bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get a ref bump. We are going to get a ref bump. That's the other guarantee here.
That's where the story is going to go all down. I don't see Hikuleo coming in Saturday, but I think he's coming in soon, and he's going to be a part of the new Bloodline. With the old Bloodline, we're going to get Roman, we're going to get Jimmy, we're going to get Jay, we're going to get Sami Zayn, and that's why I have Braun Breaker winning the Intercontinental Champion on Saturday. Sami Zayn can move on and be focusing on being in the Bloodline story. So that's 4. Who's going to be the 5th member to join Roman's Bloodline entering War Games? And I know, Jeff, you said The Rock. I don't think it is The Rock because I think The Rock is going to stay as a heel, and he's going to be focused on the new Bloodline. And while Roman's going to be with the old Bloodline, the 5th member in War Games is going to be Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes and Roman are going to both team up at War Games at Survivor Series, and Cody's the 5th and final member on Team Roman and the Bloodline. But I do believe
in Joe Hendry?
The Bloodline, yes, I believe in Joe Hendry. With the whole Bloodline
say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Continue.
With the whole Bloodline situation, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, well, wait, I got it. I think with Solo Sikoa, we're going to get the Samoan Spike. The referee is going to hit 1, 2. The referee gets pulled out of the ring. That's
this
where
time Tongaloa doesn't miss his cue.
That's where Paul Heyman comes back. Paul Heyman is going to be underneath the ring, and Triple H is going to say to Paul Heyman, hey, this is your cue. Go and do it.
I don't think Paul Heyman can fit underneath the ring, with all due respect.
You never know. Strange things has happened in WWE, but I think
that's fair.
That's fair. I think Paul Heyman is going to pull the referee. Solo's going to be so upset. Cody's going to win. Paul is going to be helping Cody retain the WWE Championship. And then after the match, Solo's going to attack Cody. And then Cody's going to be out of the ring. And Solo and Paul Heyman is where Solo and Paul standing, going to have head-to-head, face-to-face. Solo is going to almost hit Paul Heyman with the Samoan Spike. Bada bing, bada boom. We hear Roman's theme song, and the whole entire Cleveland Browns Stadium is going to erupt. And everybody had said let's take you back to 2017. People said the F word to Roman Reigns when he defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania. 2024, we had thank you, Roman. And now it's SummerSlam. We're going to get we want Roman. Roman is going to come back as a babyface. And what we heard from Triple H on the WrestleMania post show on WrestleMania Sunday when Roman gets back, his story is going to blow people's minds away. And it is going to happen. Roman is going to come back as a babyface, and this is going to be his first return in front of fans. We saw him return as a heel in 2020 in the pandemic. I'm counting that did not happen. That did not exist. We get Roman Reigns at the end of the night. He's going to have a stare down with Solo, and we're finally going to start the fall season off with a bang with Roman Solo feud. We get towards Bloodline Civil War in War Games, and I know we're going to get a one-on-one match with Roman and Solo. I don't think we're going to get that at Bash in Berlin in Germany. They're not going to have that happen. I think we're going to head towards Bad Blood with their first one-on-one match
Bloodline with bad
Saturday,
blood.
October 5th in Atlanta, Georgia. I think we're going to get Roman Solo at Bad Blood. And then from there, that's when we're going to get this War Games. And then we're going to see which bloodline wins, the new or the old. So Saturday, Cody's going to win.
Obviously.
And I can't wait to see Roman Reigns back. And the last time I saw Roman in person was in Youngstown, Ohio, 2022 at a live event. 2 years later, the streak is going to be finally over, and I can finally see Roman Reigns back once and for all.
Acknowledge that. All right. So it sounds like overall, we know the winner is going to be Cody, but we believe that Roman is going to show up and literally ignite the war, the civil war of the bloodlines. Why the final boss may not show up because it's the story of Cody is just beginning. I think if nothing else, we're leaning towards Roman versus Solo and Cody versus The Rock in some capacity. And I do think both are going to happen before WrestleMania. I do think at some point, though, we are going to get Rock versus Roman. But right now, there's two totally different stories where I don't think it even needs to happen anymore at this point until we see a reason for it. And I don't think it has to involve the championship. But either way, I'm definitely curious to see what the story plot is going to be into the fall season of WWE. After, of course, we see at the end of the night who wins this match. It's going to be Cody. But overall, it's going to be a very unique, fun night. And I'm looking forward to the biggest event of the summer. And it's been a very incredible time once again with our hype. So thank you to those that tuned in for this panel once again, our annual tradition. Glad to bring it back. We'll see if we can continue the streak going forward. And again, guys, good luck. You know, to make your predictions official on the form, considering SmackDown, go home, and maybe pre-record it, but that still has yet to come into play. And there still might be, of course, predictions that can change. I'm not going to make your predictions official on the form until 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the very start of SummerSlam, Saturday night. And yes, folks, the form will be here in the comments down below. Before we go, again, gentlemen, absolute pleasure. Stay pure, stay true. We are the Horsemen of predictions for life and all things wrestling. Shout out to the W family. Let's go around and give our final thought, and everybody a fine adieu. Mark, again, an absolute pleasure. I look forward to this every year because it's truly awesome to engage with you. Any last thoughts you have regarding this weekend and anything else you want to play or promote?
Not necessarily. It's good to be back. This is probably the first show I've done in a long time. Honestly, I'm a little rusty. I need to get on here a little bit more often, I guess. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for SummerSlam. Like I said, I'm glad it's 7 matches. Like clearly, like each match, there's so much that could happen. I mean, there's no filler whatsoever. So I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough. Jeff, again, 7 matches, 6 championships, 1 grudge match, one thing obvious, Cody winning. But that being said, absolute pleasure engaging you again, man. Good luck in all things you do. I look forward once again doing this Horseman hype with you for another show, or still be predicting with you as well as these guys. But anything you want to plug about, any last spot you have?
Well, first of all, you mentioned about the 7 matches, yeah, but you got to understand every champion is better than Logan Paul.
Yeah, I
had to get one more.
Number of that. Yeah, I had to get one more in there.
Yes, I did. Yeah. So Meltdown on Facebook, obviously. See, I'm at 8. That's great. 8 is great. I agree. So yeah, well, Meltdown on Facebook. I also run MWL. We are in season 6. We are in week 5. This is MWO Heatwave coming up. Obviously, SummerSlam, our version of it, of course, because we're better. And we got a lot going on. We got 3 brands now. Since the last time I talked to you all guys, we started up the season. We have 3 brands. We have Diamond, we got Havoc, we got Surge. Surge is our version of NXT. Those newcomers, those that have not ever predicted, or those that don't predict well or would like to improve their character and storylines and stuff like that. That is what Surge is for. And so far, it's been a big hit. We've finally got to the point where most of everybody has predicted now. It took them a few weeks, but they're finally starting to.
Do it, because before you go back to work and take care of the kids to school, yourself to higher education, this is the time where you're supposed to have relaxation and fun in your passion.
Absolutely. So we've got that going on. If you want to join, just give me a holler, or a holla, as Teddy Long would say. Yes, give me a holler. We'll get you set up with a character, and we'll get you in there. We're not doing the strike system this time around, and we're trying something different. So we're not doing strike system. We're also not tagging, except for the last hour. So basically, if you want a match, you predict. If you don't, you don't have to predict. If you don't get it in time, don't worry. It doesn't count against you. So, Mark, come back. I'm telling you, dude, come back. This is the golden opportunity, man. No X's. You don't have to worry if you miss a form. It doesn't affect your record. This season, we're letting everything go out the window, and we're starting from scratch. It's all in fun this year. Yes. So think about it. Think about it. Let me know. And hopefully we'll see you back in MWL. But until then, enjoy SummerSlam, everybody. This I think is going to be, and I know WWE uses this quite a lot, the best SummerSlam in history. It could possibly be with this card. We'll have to wait and see, but I am looking forward to it, and it's going to be one hell of a birthday weekend, capping off with SummerSlam.
Well, happy pre-lated birthday, and enjoy the biggest event of the summer. And I look forward to predicting with you all once again, sooner rather than later, even if it's just literally the four of us. With that being said, Chris, always a pleasure, man, picking your brain. You fantasy booking and storytelling. You can literally start your own podcast with how far you go into these wrestling matches sometimes, brother. And I appreciate you always. Any last thoughts you have regarding SummerSlam? And, of course, you being your own little guru of social media, I got you covered, bro.
Well, my social media is, you can find me on my X account, CROTS24. My Insta is CMROTZ_1316. It is not 6472 anymore. It is 1316. So it's CMROTZ_1316. My Facebook is Christopher Roth. You can hit me on all three of those social media accounts. I'm down on being friends with you guys and all the friends that I have here in Ohio. I enjoyed coming on here for the Four Horsemen hype panel tonight for SummerSlam. I can't wait to be live at my first SummerSlam this Saturday. I'll definitely hit you up on Facebook Messenger. We can meet up. We could do a no DQ meetup, whatever. This is going to be the biggest event.
I'll endorse you too.
This is the biggest event of the summer. I'm looking forward to it. I hope all you guys enjoy SummerSlam this Saturday. Jeff Chadwick, happy early birthday. Hope you have an amazing birthday, capping it off with the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. Take care of yourself. And I want to say thank him so much for allowing me to be on tonight. Say yeah to NoDQ.com. Good luck to everybody that is competing in the WWE prediction on Saturday. And always say his name, and he appears, I believe, in Joe Hendry.
You son of a bitch. If I hear the name Joe Hendry one more time.
Amen. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Damn it.
And this makes 9, by the way. This makes 9.
Everybody freaking yeah, you haven't changed a bit. Here it goes.
Everyone forgets Dwayne Gill was a former light heavyweight champion. People are forgetting this.
You know what? He's not wrong again. And Walter Cruz probably agrees with you. I appreciate that comment too. I appreciate all you gentlemen as always. My gosh, this has been too much damn fun. We need to do this again soon. Yes. And again, folks, thank you for tuning in. Again, we are the Horsemen of Predictions, where we look at all things wrestling with an equal mind and a positive mindset. We hope that you enjoyed this. Follow us and engage with us if you choose. Become part of all 5 predictions leagues or any of the 5 if you choose. Whether you're a fan of WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, TNA, or AEW. It is truly all about all things wrestling here when it comes to us horsemen of prediction and the hype that we bring towards the biggest events, including SummerSlam. So get ready to rock this Saturday here. And of course, the multiverse of me will have you covered. I may not be on the calls. I will be there live, but I believe it is JJ, James, Walter, possibly a rotating cast that will be calling the biggest event of the summer. So stay tuned for more on that. And of course, there's so much more to come with me here across the multiverse of me. I'll be calling TNA and Pat tomorrow and doing super predicting with the Dominguez's and other friends of the multiverse of me. Stay tuned for more on that. And again, folks, I do this simply because I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of what's the words I'm looking for? Oh yeah, professional wrestling. Damn it! We wish to encourage you and remind you there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans and friends with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Jesus Christ, get off your damn phones, God almighty. And treasure your families, whether they're virtual, whether they're in wrestling, or whether they're the ones you are born with by blood that sometimes you want to take a shillelagh to. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell to be able to live on demand on this channel and Chelsea and the multiverse of media. Because, of course, you make this all possible. And all I got to say to that on behalf of the multiverse of media, we thank you. And again, follow my crew, the ATW crew, on all the social medias. We'll do another interview on Pronto again soon. And shout out to my friend Mary J. Continue to prove that James is more in the gold across the pond. I hope that she enjoys AEW when they go to Cardiff, if not WWE beforehand or afterwards. But that's all for now as I leave you this Wednesday night in absolute delight. Guys, it's been a pleasure. So until next time, whether it's Horsemen, ATW, WWE Network, or me on the screen too, and I know what he's about to do, so hold on, let me get the thing up as I say the line, you son of a gun. And also, he's not wrong. So as we end this with a perfect 10 insults to Logan Paul's title run, damn it, Jeff. Make a positive impact in life and have a good night. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope everybody enjoys the biggest event of the summer. Enjoy SummerSlam, folks, and until next time, we are the Horsemen of predictions for life. Have a good night, folks.
I believe Joe Hendry.
Damn it, Chris! You freaking idiot! You! That's enough of hitting the button! But yes, do you believe? Then you're a hater! Stop it! Alright, that's enough. Get a headshot.